But you wanted something sciencey. If you want something new, well, this was written yesterday. I wrote this yesterday, and I'm working on potential things for a future book that would be through Cyberwit. This year they published a book of mine called Shattering the Glass Ceiling, all women's issue stuff, and I'm postulating that next year is going to be a book called Testament, and it will have not only biblical poetry in toward the end, but it will have a lot of the Roe v. Wade stuff in the beginning, and I thought this might be a good thing between sections. And for those who knew that I did periodic table poems, a lot of stuff from Boron from the Big Bang is in the beginning of this one. This is a long one. And it's called Ultimately, the Goddamn Particle. Part 1, the history lesson. The theory of how the Big Bang started to create matter, evolve, well, it goes a little something like this. The theory is that all of the universe's energy was created from this massive explosion from nothingness. But the question begs itself, how did all that energy turn into matter? Keep in mind, in the first few minutes of our universe after the Big Bang, temperatures were so hot that it was too hot for energy to make matter. This bottleneck delayed the formation of matter until the universe was literally cool enough to make anything out of anything. But just a few minutes after the Big Bang, elements burst forth when the universe was suddenly cool enough. 20 minutes after the Big Bang, the universe was suddenly too cool for nuclear fusion or nucleosynthesis. Elemental abundances were nearly fixed. That means that the first two elements in our periodic table were all that was formed in the first few minutes of the Big Bang. So, the creation of matter out of energy during the formulation of the universe only happened in an insanely brief period of the universe's history. Part 2, the science lesson. Now, scientists postulate theories like the Big Bang, and then they feverishly devise ways to prove or disprove postulations. But how do you prove how matter was formed in the universe? Well, the scientists propose that a Higgs field is an invisible field of energy throughout the entire universe. They deduce that the Higgs boson is a particle in that field, which interacts with any energy passing through the Higgs field. With that interaction, particles of energy, massless particles, they trade a photon for a boson, energy for mass, to pass through. If they're right, this Higgs field in the beginning of the universe created matter. So, for over half a century, these science types went to the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva to move tiny particles at galactic speeds to see if they could actually find the Higgs particle. The Higgs boson, that's what it's called, this fundamental force-carrying particle of the Higgs field that literally grants other particles their mass by trading from energy a photon with, wait for it, a boson. Well, that's the theory. As I said, these science types were searching for this elusive particle that would explain what helps create mass, completing the standard model of particle physics, which, you know, is kind of a big deal since our universe wouldn't exist without mass. Since the Higgs boson only existed in the high energy conditions of the early universe, they needed the LHC to make some serious energy to prove their theory. Which they did in 2012, some 50 years after the rise of this theory. But at in that time, the Higgs particle gained the moniker the God particle, which has left science and religion and the masses trying to tie religion to science. Well, maybe scientists don't tie them together, because the only reason why that moniker stuck is after Nobel Prize-winning physicist Leon Lederman wrote a book about it in the early 1990s, titling the book The Goddamn Particle, poking fun at the difficulty in finding it. This was supposed to be the title of the book, and it was wildly popular for a book about physics, but publishers didn't like the title, so they changed it to The God Particle. This really didn't please scientists and further muddied their real scientific work by marring it with religion. But if you search enough for the info, the entire truth really is out there. If only you know where to look. There's your thing.
Well,
there's your science.
Both songs remind me of clowns.
What? Bosons remind you of clowns.
Yes, like we're all bozos on this month.
Instead of bozos or bosons. You know, I was actually around for, I don't know if anybody, well, I don't know if Bozo the Clown was only out of Chicagoland or not. But it was a Chicagoland.
No, it was national.
And I went to it once, and I thought that they were going to land on me for when they were circling around to have a kid come down for the thing Bozo the Clown, which is not a boson. Anyway, but that's how you change science and make it humorous or something. I don't know. But thank you.